Yeah, I think we're too far away. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to We Are Live. Once again, it is Musings with Stephanie and Maria, which of course on Mondays...
And Mark.
On Mondays turns into Musings with Stephanie and Mark, which is a very different show. I'll wait till I get a few more people.
Yeah. How's everybody doing today? Come on, folks.
Yeah, if you, we can see that there are people out there, but if you kind of make a comment, we can see that you're there. Hi, Nancy. We can see that you're there, and we can lean forward and squint and try to see what you're saying. And hello, City Museum, and kind of interact. I think today we have a subject that everyone will have a connection to, for sure. But I will tell you, we're really on the fly today. It's been quite a week. We'll give it another minute or two, and then I'll start the spiel. How about that? So, you know, everybody else wears headphones, and I keep meaning to ask why and if that would help me. Oh, look, you're watching.
I am watching.
Oh, you added some extra things in. Cool. You added some extra stuff in. Good.
Yep.
Alrighty. Oh, 30 of you out there. Hi, Maria. See, now you can see us. Good.
Oh, cool. Welcome.
We don't know that Max is there. We just know Maria's there. Sorry. I mean, we can assume Max is there, but...
Max is there.
There's something I forgot to tell you. Anyway. Alrighty. Ooh, 43 people. All right. Well, let's kind of get started here because we have probably more material than we think we do. So, welcome. This is Musings with Stephanie and Maria, which is Stephanie and Mark today. I am Stephanie Von Drasik. I'm retail director and historian with City Museum. My colleague Maria is tours director and chief archivist for City Museum. My husband Mark is a legacy City Museum artist who was there from the very beginning. And
I'm an outcast.
We're all outcasts. Just some of us still work there.
So what we'd like to talk about today is we all love St. Louis, and St. Louis is a storied music town.
True.
Music history in St. Louis goes way back. It's always been a hotbed for music. And Chicago, St. Louis, and New Orleans go back to the early days of jazz, musicians traveling this circuit, and blues, and rock and roll. Many, many, many great bands have come from St. Louis.
True enough. Bands like... I'm just going to
Pavlov's
start out here.
Dog.
Bands like Pavlov's Dog, and I'm going to start out with the first shirt here. Pavlov's Dog.
Oh, cool. I never saw that. And it's all autographed.
Right? Tiny doll shirt, right? Yeah, I wore
Don't
that.
be so fast. Give
Okay.
them a minute to see it.
All right. Well, we can come back to that.
Okay.
All right. So what we were going to talk about today is not just the St. Louis music, but the actual concert experience, which is huge for most of us, I think, but especially for us. And so we're kind of going to delve back a little bit into what the concert experience, what the pre-concert experience was like, buying tickets, shirts, all kinds of stuff like that.
First of all...
was I going to do this first? Books first? No,
Yeah.
we can go back. Okay.
No, that's fine. Go
All
ahead.
right. We've been... Hi, Tim. We've also been inspired, you know, we're missing live music, obviously. We're really missing concerts.
Definitely. If there's one thing Steph and I love to do, it's we love to go to a show.
Right. So there are several books out. Who's laughing? There are several books out right now that really talk about...
Wait a minute. Y'all go and invite some more people.
You could do that.
Yeah.
You could do that. Because
Get
you know
some-
this is going to be a scintillating show.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good show.
Anyway, there are several books out that kind of cover this experience for those of you that weren't there or want to remember it. There is this Keishi book that talks, you know, not just about, it's a pretty wide-ranging book, music, the radio, concerts. It's really a cool book. Produced by Contemporary. which obviously covers a lot of ground. Wait, there we go. Produced by Contemporary, which covers a whole lot of ground. You know, Contemporary was one
Productions was the production company in St. Louis for years and years. They brought so many shows.
Arena Memories, which is not just about music. Of course, you know, there were so many different kinds of exhibitions. And eventually it was the home of the blues, hockey blues, and St. Louis Sound, and we're going to come back to this a little bit probably towards the end. So anyway, the concert experience back then was a little bit different. Buying tickets in particular.
I think you ought to cover that book now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right. Okay, you're right. The concert experience is really different way back in the day. For example, this is what a ticket stub used to look like when they meant something.
Right. So what?
Now you buy your tickets online and you get a QR code and you show that your phone at the door and you get in. You don't have any memorabilia. You don't get a stub, and that sucks.
So talk about buying tickets though, back then.
Well, buying tickets back in the day, you know, we used, you know, ticket sales, you could buy tickets over the phone, but by and large, you would go to the box office of the venue where the concert was going to be.
Or Orange Julius.
Or Orange Julius, or
Oh, you're right.
Ticketmaster, record company locations.
Hudson's Embassy.
Orange Julius, used to go
was a
to
big
Orange
one.
Julius was for ticket stubs was great.
Regal Sports.
Regal Sports.
And they would get, you know, they would actually get hard tickets. Famous Bar, Crestwood. Oh God, I love Famous. But yeah, so that was one. They were a Tickets Now or a Ticketmaster.
Also,
outlet.
you could go to KC 95, go to the window of the DJ booth back in the day and buy tickets or get free stuff. And these are some really old school bumper stickers from KC. These are original ones.
Speaking of Keishi.
They're even on brown paper.
And you can tell that they're old because the pig still has the joint in his mouth. But
That's right.
Okay, so but you would also, you know, so your ticket outlets would get hard tickets. They get these stacks of tickets, and you'd kind of get to know who got or which outlets got what tickets, and it was pretty common to go and camp out, right?
Yep. And I was particularly fond of camping out for tickets.
Wasn't.
Some very memorable experiences camping out for was the Clash in 1984. I camped out for 3 days on 14th Street outside Kiel Opera House. And
Hi, Lori.
Elvis Costello as well, 2 days for that one. And we would just, you know, we'd form a line. There were no line tickets. We would just form a line, and you move, you lose.
So how many people would be out there?
Well, for the Clash, there were easy 100 people out there. It was a 3-day party. It was crazy, and you'd always want to have more than one person. You need to be 2 or 3 people so somebody could go over to 7-Eleven on 17th Street and get coffee or whatever you might need, beer.
That was going to be my next question. What do you do about eating, and where do you pee?
You pee in the corner.
Okay, what if you're a girl?
I don't know where they went. Maybe they went to 7-Eleven. I don't know.
You know the 7-Eleven he's talking about, right? It still exists. It's that one on 18th, what? 18th?
17th and Locust.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still there. Still a 7-Eleven.
All right. And same thing would happen at, Orange Julius at Northwest Plaza or something. So you'd have these hordes of people waiting outside, camping outside or whatever. So after, obviously, and that really went on for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, came up with the electronic tickets and whatnot and kind of ruined that for everybody, which is fine because I only went to camp out once for Culture Club and ended up not having to. I think we got down there and some friends of ours had some connection and they got us tickets so we didn't have to camp out because, you can imagine what we looked like at that time. We looked like people who were going to go see Culture Club, and probably camping out may not have been well, anyway, we didn't have to do it. So, Anyway, so tickets were different. Ticket buying was different. And memorabilia was different. You know, now when you go to a show, there's all kinds of merch and stuff and whatever. But back then, I mean, you pretty much got T-shirts or nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Is there...
Also, camping out, you would, after, you know, so many years of doing this, there's a community, you keep seeing the same faces. Like,
Sweet me, yeah.
Todd Rundgren is one of my favorite artists of all time.
I missed tickets to
I have seen Todd Rundgren well in excess of 50 times. And back in the day, camped out for all of them. And, you know, I have friends still that I met doing that. And I still see one or two of them from time to time at shows.
So, you've got some shirts and stuff that you were going to share, right? We got into shirts a little bit a couple weeks ago when we were talking about our City Museum shirt archive. And Tim, posters, same here. You know, that's kind of, well, we still wear things, but back here we've got
about this poster. It's later, but that's fine.
Later? It's 1985.
Well, yeah, that's late, man.
Okay, I did just happen to bring this one up. You know, Tim says posters are what he goes for now, and that's true. You know, it's a little more of an adult thing, you know, that you want to maybe put something out at your house as opposed to having a whole lot of. Well, no, we still like T-shirts.
Hi, Lori.
But this is a favorite poster of mine. It doesn't hang up anymore, but I haul it out every couple of years and look at it. This was for the original New York City Fresh Festival 2, as you can see. That was in 1985 at the Arena, Kiel Auditorium. My memory is not so great. But, you know, so here's something I was going to bring up. Concert shirts then, you could only get them at the show.
Yeah, go ahead.
You could only get them at the show, you know, as opposed to what we can now buy at Target or online or Walmart or Urban Outfitters or wherever, you know, which I will admit I'm guilty of, but it took me years to come around to that, you know. But, so things like this you could only get, you know, at a show like that, you know, and so it was worth, I don't know, it was worth going. It was worth keeping memorabilia like this because it was hard to find, you know, or hard to get to. That's a little bit of a later one.
You're not
Still
getting
85.
in the frame here.
Okay, well, go on to your shirts. You've got a lot to share.
No, all right. Okay, let's start with my very oldest ticket stub. This is ticket stub from Super Jam 1978. And that was my first major concert. Prior to that, like, big concerts for me were going to Six Flags to see BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive or something. And here is a handbill from 78, Super Jam 78. You can see Styx, Blue Oyster Cult, Angel, Eddie Money, and Bob Welch. I'd never been so burned out in my whole life. I was so sunburned, I can't even describe it. It was really a great experience for a first concert. All day long, just having a good time.
And there's a question for people. What was your first concert? You know? What was your first concert?
Yeah.
Come on across with it.
Let us know.
Jeff, we miss you too. This is part of why we're so on the fly today, is because we are hard at work making plans for reopening the museum. We don't have a date for that yet, but it's, you know, it requires a lot of work to get the museum reopened. We miss you too.
All right.
So anyway, what's your first concert?
Moving on here. Want to do the stubs for me, baby? Here's a shirt. This is from 1979. Here is Sammy Hagar. I can't see if they can see it.
I can see it.
And then the back, Sammy Hagar Live. This shirt actually came from Super Jam 1980. Sammy Hagar was one of the headliners for that show.
It is threadbare. That shirt is.
And this is one of my very most prized t-shirts because I love Todd Rundgren so much. This is Utopia. It's a jersey style shirt. It's worn threadbare. You can see through it. And this was 1978.
And here's a picture of Mark wearing that shirt with Todd about 3 years ago. Yes, he can still fit in his shirts.
Yeah, I think, what is this, 42 years old now?
Jars of clay.
I have t-shirts that are older than all of you.
So Tim, so REO Speedwagon, right? Did you know, or you may
And
may
a
not
stub.
have known. Sorry. Let me throw this. So
Yeah,
let me throw this
go
in here.
for it.
So REO Speedwagon. So Pavlov's dog. You're not from St. Louis, but if you look at Pavlov's dog, they were a big thing here. It should have been big internationally. That's a story. But so Pavlov's dog. So Steve Scorfina, who is still performing in St. Louis and nationally, was first guitarist for REO Speedwagon.
Mm-hmm.
And
He was original member of REO.
original founding member of REO Speedwagon.
He went to an audition and he thought he was auditioning for a different band.
Illinois
right?
Speed Press was a big, sort of semi-local band, and he went there thinking he was auditioning for Illinois Speed Press, and it turned out to be REO Speedwagon. He tells us that story. So what's
Yeah.
next, baby?
So moving on, we have March 22nd of 1979 at Opera House, Kiel Opera House. I saw Angel. Baby, you blocking my shirt here.
Sorry, trying to
There
show
you
the
go.
stub.
We saw Angel. And then this is a very memorable concert.
Wait a minute, Jeff, if you're going to see a hair band, Poison is the one to see, right? It's cool.
This ticket stub is, I think, from 1980. This is, you can read Blue Oyster Cult, but this tour was the Black and Blue tour. It was Black Sabbath with Blue Oyster Cult, and that's the first time I incurred hearing loss. It was the loudest concert I've ever been to, even louder than Motorhead. It was crazy. And this is a very old Black Sabbath t-shirt. This is from the Mob Rules tour, which I did not see, but that's all I could pair up with my stub. I got this shirt from a very dear friend of mine, Chris LaChance, who is deceased now, and I keep it for him.
So two things. This is the other thing that ticket stubs are good for. As I was going through things, I worked in records for years, so we'd go see things just because we get in for free or, whatever. We just go see things. So apparently I saw Black Sabbath, the Black and Blue tour. I saw Black Sabbath twice in the 80s, which I don't really recall, but I have the stubs for them. So I must have seen it. So Linda, Super Jam 78 or Kiss or Pavlov's Dog opening for Nectar. And Pavlov's Dog and Nectar is one of the #1 classic St. Louis shows of all time for people that remember that.
And you can still hear them on Casey Classics on Sundays. Okay, here's another one.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing, Linda.
And this is going to take us out of the 70s as far as my
B-52s at the
stuff
Muni.
goes.
B-52s,
But-
did I see that? Sorry.
Here's Rush. I saw B-52s at Mississippi Nights and twice, I think.
And
That's the
Tracy's first show was B-52s at the Muni, and I'm sure I've
And
seen
then
them.
Here is a whole stack of Rush ticket stubs. I saw them at least 5 or 6 times. They really are a great band. They really were a great band, and they were really great live. This one is from 1980, 82, 81, and 84. And so there we are.
All right.
Yeah.
You got plenty more.
So back in the day, I grew up in South St. Louis around Grand and Bates. So I was kind of a burnout, I mean, KC was what we listened to, and my horizons weren't very broad. Then in 1982, 81, maybe I met a young lady named Margaret. And she gave me 2 records. She gave me Black Flag, Damaged, and she gave me the English Beat, Just Can't Stop It. And those 2 records changed my life. And in our time together, we went to some shows that were very new for me. And I'd have to say, hands down, the most memorable one was Oingo Boingo at Graham Chapel. And
wait, with the waitresses. So
with
did the
the waitresses.
Whoa. You remember the waitresses?
Oingo Boingo had backed out of the tour. I don't know why. And Gang of Four took their place to fulfill the tour. So we saw Gang of Four in concert that night. And it really, really influenced me greatly. Graham Chapel was such a great venue. The sound is exquisite.
At WashU?
It's Graham Chapel at WashU. Mm-hmm. They used to do shows in the field house too, but and they were good. And they also had shows in the cafeteria at WashU sometimes. I saw the Toasters there several times. But you know, like 1979 was first time I ventured over to U City. A friend of mine took me to go to Vintage Vinyl, and back then there were 3 record stores, the Tivoli and the Varsity and Magic Market, and that was about it in U City. It was kind of a treacherous place, in fact. And when my friend Andy introduced me to record shopping over there instead of going to Peaches, you know, it really opened up a whole new world for me, new music, things that really influenced my life for the better. And here is...
Wait a minute, I gotta mention this. Jeff got to see Stevie Ray Vaughan's last performance. That's an amazing memory.
That is cool.
That's like, you know, that's like seeing Richie Valens on the Big Bopper or whatever at that last show. That's really quite a
cool.
thing.
Yeah, we saw Bowie the
Bowie
last time that he
times.
was in St. Louis. He died not too long later. And also Motorhead, the last show they played here.
But not the last show, period. He got to see the last show, period. What you got?
So we're moving up now to, you know, into the early 80s. And this was a really great show for me. This was X at Mississippi Nights.
Hi, Kels.
1983. It was the More Fun in the New World tour. And here's my beloved t-shirt. And this is really special shirt because it was made sleeveless and it's kind of a sweatshirt material. I still dearly love this shirt and I'm so proud of it. I have so many X shirts. I've seen X, we've seen X many, many times. They do tour a lot. And then here's there's a very memorable photograph probably after the concert at my friend Jim's house.
Hi, Kelsey.
That's 1983, folks.
So that's another question. You know, another thing. You had mentioned a couple of albums that were really influential for you that led to a whole new set of concert experiences. So what was your? Let me know what a really influential album for you that would have led to a really a big change in just a really influential album for you. Mine would be Raw Power, and my concert experience would be Iggy and the Stooges on August 18th, 1973 at the American Theater.
Stephanie was 12 years old and her parents took her to see 11 years old.
No, I was 12. I don't know.
12
anyway,
or
yeah,
11,
my parents,
whatever.
I got my parents to take me because I said I'd pay for it. And my poor mother cried all the way through it because it was Iggy and the Stooges at the top of his game back then, you know. Iggy's always at the top of his game, but I digress. Go ahead, on with your... Sorry, baby.
So let's see, where are we next? Here you go. Show the folks the handbill.
All right.
I don't have a
It's
stub.
always cool to have something signed, Jeff. It is. And it's got actually a couple of things
I have a
probably
number
coming
of
up here,
autographed
too.
t-shirts here.
Yeah. It makes it extra special, doesn't it?
So this is Handspill from the Circle Jerks show at Mississippi Nights.
Another Mississippi Nights show, and that's significant because it'll come up later.
They were touring for the album Golden Shower of Hits, and it was called the 1980p tour.
Which was really a funny album. It was good.
And here's the awesome t-shirt from that. I still love to wear this shirt. I'm so very proud of
You
it.
wear them all.
And it has, I Sharpied in a Black Flag logo on the back.
Okay.
And
What's next?
slow down a little bit.
Sorry.
So, City Museum, I saw your comment, Gang of Four, exclamation point. Rock on, dudes. Gang of Four is such a great band, and we just lost their guitarist, Andy Gill, a few months ago. And
Wasn't it Gang of Four off Broadway that was so exceptional a couple of years ago?
no, we saw them in 2015 at the old Rock House.
Oh, you're right.
And
You're right.
it was like a frigid February night, and there were only 30 people there.
Yeah, it was
And,
real.
and the show was just intense. It was so cool. It was really, really good.
Which is why you always have to look at those, look at websites for the more independent venues because they don't always get them out there like this. Look, here's Todd again. And what is special about this shirt?
This is
Look at this mint green tank.
not just a shirt, but a tank top, of course. Now, this shirt is from the Nearly Human tour. And I don't think this show was actually at Mississippi Nights, but this is autographed to Mark, Todd R. You can see the autograph
it
there.
just says St. Louis, but it doesn't say. Oh, no, this is at Stages.
This was at
Remember
Stages. Now that's
over in Illinois.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was touring for. I think it was Bang on the Drum all day. I remember at this show, I actually, Todd asked for volunteers from the audience, and I got to go up on stage, and he gave me a cowbell. And they started the song, and there were, 8 or 10 people up there with instruments, tambourines and whatnot. And they started the show, and I'm trying to play the cowbell. And Todd actually came over and took the cowbell away from me because I couldn't keep the beat.
No rhythm at all. Can't keep a beat.
I got all the heart, but none of the ability.
True
I really
enough.
got all the
He
heart.
can do a lot of things, but he can't keep a beat to music.
Now this was really a
Which
good
made it really
show
funny when he was
here.
trying to be a drummer a couple of years ago.
This was really a good show. I'm doing it. What are you
You're
rushing
doing
me
good.
for? You always rush us through this, and we don't have no fun. Right, folks? Help me out. Back me up here. Doesn't Stephanie rush through it?
Sorry. Dead Milkman, right?
That was those are two stubs for the Dead Milkman I saw at Mississippi Nights. And this shirt is from the first show I saw. They were touring for Big Lizard in My Backyard, the album Big Lizard. And the back is signed.
Oh, you can barely
Mark,
see that now.
today, this is your year, Dave Blood. Dave Blood was the bass player, and he has since passed away as well. And I really love the Dead Milkmen. They're a fun band. Men at Men.
And this one has a coupon for $1.49 lunch at Pizza Hut. Single ingredient personal pan pizza and a medium Pepsi for $1.49, but it expires October 31st, 1987. Are there still any Pizza Huts out there?
Yes, there
Huh.
are still Pizza Huts, although I would not go to one.
No, I don't think I've ever been to a Pizza Hut. What's next? What's that?
Now this
that.
is a good
You
shirt.
showed that one though already.
Okay, I saw the Police 3 times.
Okay.
What years do we got there?
I don't know.
84.
82 and 83 is what we have here.
Okay, 82
Here's a problem
and 83.
even with these tickets, these computer, heat sensitive tickets, they fade over time, which is why you really want this. Listen to me, concert promoters. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Show me your shirt.
All you concert promoters, we want real tickets back. We don't want frickin' QR codes. And so this is really a good shirt. This is, again, a sleeveless shirt, and this is the Police North American Tour 1983. I didn't get this shirt at the show. I actually found this shirt at the Record Space right, on Gravois.
Yes, we did.
They
Plug
have
the record
vintage
space.
T-shirts for sale, and I
Yeah.
paid $75 for this one.
I think I paid $75.
And it was
for
well
that. It was a birthday
worth it.
present. It was a
It
birthday
was a
present.
birthday present. My 53rd birthday.
Here, take those.
And the stubs, I saw the police.
This is
3
not a
times.
ticket. It's a piece of paper. I mean, it's a ticket, but that's it's Motorhead too.
Yep.
Motorhead in 2015. What else?
Um,
Sorry, I digress.
Here's another great show that was at Mississippi Nights.
This one has a CPI photo finish coupon.
And this shirt
Sending
is,
out an SOS. You got that right.
here's the Ramones. And this tour was for the compilation Ramones Mania. And it was
IHL.
crazy cool. It was so much fun. And you have on the shirt the lyrics for I Wanna Be Well, which is a good song.
September 29th, 1980. Oh, you know what? WMRY welcomes the Ramones.
if you put the tickets in the freezer, the print comes back. Huh, that's interesting.
Well,
Thanks,
we'll give it a
Maria.
shot. I mean, it can't get any worse, right? So we'll try it. Hi, HL. You've missed this one. You would like this one. You would like this show.
I don't know if I was the original City Museum punk, but I'm definitely the one that matters.
Well, he's among the ones. He's among the original punks. Let's put it that way. You always made
Punk
it, baby.
rock saved my life. It really did. I mean, I would
And it's got the
have
bumper
hair
sticker
down
to
to my
prove it.
ass and still be wearing blue bell-bottom jeans and jersey T-shirts and stuff. And
You'd be married to somebody else too.
yeah, it looks. You know, this
I'm
whole
quite certain.
COVID thing is
We-
really messing with me. You know, I
We both
can't
got
get a
tired of
haircut.
quarantine here.
It's
Okay.
interesting.
What else
I
you
could
got?
go.
We're rambling. Sorry.
It's interesting. I could go to a store and buy weed in today's world, but if I want a haircut, I got to meet somebody in a dark alley with unmarked bills. Thank you, COVID.
All right. What do we
Crazy
got?
world we live in today. We got. This was a really memorable show.
Two Live Crew, Mississippi Nights.
2 Live Crew. They were touring for As Nasty as They Want to Be. And here's a shirt, banned in the USA, Luke Records. That was great. That was a great day because earlier that day, they played a free set somewhere in town that I didn't know about, but they also did an autograph session at Gus's Fashion at 14th and Washington.
You remember Gus's?
And Gus's was an institution. It really was. It was a great institution in town. Bought a lot of clothes there. Went to meet 2 Live Crew. Got them to sign my cassette tape.
You bought clothes at Gus's?
Yeah.
What did you buy?
They had all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. They had all kind
See?
of workwear. And
Learn something new all the time, no matter how well you know somebody.
here you go.
Okay. This is another Mississippi Nights, Billy Bragg, November 16th, 1989. And boy, they were big on these CPI photo finish coupons on the back. Who would give up a ticket stub for that?
All right. And here's the shirt. Billy Bragg. And it's also signed, if you're able to see that. And on the back, it lists the dates and cities that they played. And that's another
is always
thing
nice.
concert T-shirts usually don't have anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you can wear the shirt and then your city's on the roster or on the back, and that's just extra cool. And let's see. Okay,
Is that
you
what
go.
got? No, I mean, you got Drunks with Guns over there, and then I got a couple things here, but we should probably wrap it up because we're
No,
not
we're
rambling.
doing
but-
fine.
All right.
Are we doing okay, folks?
Are you still out there?
Somebody give me a thumbs up. All right.
Nothing. No, we don't have anything from NWA, do we? You've seen them. I can't remember if I have.
I
NWA.
have not seen NWA that I can remember.
I will say something that's nice as merchandise has evolved. I mean, lately I do see a lot of bandanas. We got this at the Addicts, which was the second to last show recently that we've seen. It was like February 1st or 2nd or something.
Yeah,
and they
that was
were
really
great.
a great show
And,
too, man.
you know, hey, bandanas like actually really come in handy right now.
Yep.
So what else you got? Anything?
Uh,
Cause
yeah, what do you want?
we got one more. Yeah, we've got.
Here.
Yeah. So a lot of changes in the venue scene lately. This is one of the last things that, well, one of the things that we saw in the last couple of years at Foo Bar, which I really liked Foo Bar. So Foo Bar is moved
closed
into a
and
new
it
club.
moved across the street, but they weren't able to open because of the onset
Right.
of COVID.
Right. So this Drunks with Guns tour from a couple of years ago we saw and was great.
Drunks with Guns t-shirt, Punched in the Head was the name of the album. Mike Doskasil, the drummer and band leader,
Shoot.
is from St. Louis and a friend of mine, and he has a pretty colorful history of the bands that he's been in St. Louis. Going to shows back in the day was really something. The pits were crazy. I mean, you would sweat. It was so hot. You would sweat so much and get bruised and beat up. And like at that X show that I saw, for example, at Mississippi Nights, there was an under 21 section at Mississippi Nights, and it was kind of elevated about 4 foot up or 5 foot, and in the corner, an elevated dance floor. And then during the X show, everybody started pogoing, and the center of the dance floor collapsed, and people fell into this giant hole. The girl that I had gone to the show with actually got her arm broken and was taken away in an ambulance, but I stayed and watched the rest of the show. After the show, like Mississippi Nights was such a great venue because after the show you could go out back and hang around the bus, and you know, people would come out, and like John Doe, the guitarist and bass player and singer for X, he came, we were hanging up by the bus, and he came out and brought us on the bus, and we had a couple beers, and then Xene came and threw us out because she was just cranky and bitchy like she always is. And I had a lot of great experiences like that. It was really fun. The world wasn't so afraid of everything back then.
Okay. Speaking of, okay,
So where we at?
so two things. All right, here's my bus thing. Although Jeff says, name the darkest band you've seen. He's seen King Diamond, a very different concert. Well, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can tell you that I came close to seeing Gigi Allen, and my friends, my couple guy friends that I worked with at the record store, you know, I said, no, we're not gonna let you go to that. You're not gonna go to that. My meeting on the bus story actually, again, when I worked at the record store at the warehouse one day, the tour bus just stopped by, which was kind of weird. Not weird, but it was, you know, something that happened. But our warehouse was, you know, way back in kind of a semi-residential area, and Alice Cooper stopped by, and so I got my $1 billion autographed. This was the $1 billion poster that was in the album of $1 Billion Babies at the time, and oddly enough, I didn't have this with me. There was one in the warehouse, and I got it and got the dollar out of it because this is my original dollar from back then, and they're the same anyway, except that one of them
I
was
don't know if
autographed.
you
One
would
more.
call this a dark show, but here's Marilyn Manson. I saw Marilyn Manson at Mississippi Nights, and that was one of the most intense shows that I've ever
So we're gonna have to
seen.
cut this off.
It was so cool. I had to take my
They were taking
nephew.
care of me, HL. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't want to go. I didn't even like Marilyn Manson, and my family member asked me to take my nephew because he just had to go. So I took him to see Marilyn Manson and became a fan. That show was so intense. It was so crowded and so hot.
Okay, so we're running out of battery space here, so we're going to have to wrap this up. This has really
we're not.
been, yeah, we are. That just said low battery. That's why we had to close it.
I want to do my urge stuff.
Baby, we don't want to get caught off in the middle, but we can do a whole nother thing on the urge.
I got lots more ticket
Look
stubs
at that.
to go through.
And so does
someday,
everybody else.
But not here.
No, HL, they wouldn't let me because they were taking care of me. They were like, you know, and I was kind of, you know, I'd say a little more prissy back then. You know, I was like, oh yeah, I'll go see GGL. And they're like, no, I don't want you. They were being protective of me, and that's fine.
There were so many great venues in town. There was Kennedy's, Mississippi Nights, what was on Thurman? Bernard's Pub was really a great venue, man. You never knew what would happen at Bernard's Pub, man. People getting shot and stabbed and having all kind of fun. Here's an old handbill from Mississippi Nights. The Eyes and Kennedy's.
Lots of stuff. Okay.
Gangrene.
Are you going to show them or not?
Oh, Ultraman. Show that one.
They're another classic. Also at Bernard Pub. And Whoppers Taste Good. Duck Duck
Whoppers
Goose.
Taste Good was a great band.
You get 3 bands for $5. We miss you too, Tracy. All right.
Go ahead, baby.
We're running out of battery here.
All right.
Okay. So, yeah, what were we talking about?
Hi, Tracy.
St. Louis Sound. This is a great book. It really covers a lot of ground. And the St. Louis History Museum will be hosting a whole exhibit on St. Louis Sound next year, which is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, he always makes me do this. No, actually, he usually does it. Okay, here it is. My band, an original early all-girl punk band, is featured in this book, and we will also
You didn't even give them a look.
Well, maybe they need to pick up the book, baby.
There you go.
Anyway, the Welders.
Really great band.
We will be featured in, well, not featured, but part of this exhibit, which I'm very excited about. Also, in the works right now is a book about Mississippi Nights, and
Yes.
which is going to be a whole lot of fun. It's
My friend Garrett Enlow is doing this book about Mississippi Nights.
Garrett and his wife Stacy are
some
hard
of-
at work on this book.
Some of the collection that he's putting together will also be on display at the History Museum, I believe.
And so we're hoping to, when they do get the Mississippi Nights book out, maybe we do something with them, kind of do a feature event with them at City Museum when that does come out, because that's going to be a lot of fun. So,
So Maria, you see a part 2, a second episode of
I don't know if I can take 2.
music memorabilia for Steph and I? I think that's a great idea.
We didn't just use it all up?
Maybe I get to talk next time. No, I'm kidding, folks.
He does say I barrel through them and steamroll over him, which is kind of true because I just kind of get going.
She just
'Cause we're
wants to
always
get
on the
done
fly.
with it.
Yeah.
She doesn't like doing it.
No, it's not that I don't like doing it, but we're always on the fly, and we always kind of do these 45
That's kinda
minutes
true.
beforehand, you know. And it is. We are really on the fly today because we have been so. We had a really great pop-up sale, cabin pop-in at the museum over the weekend. We had Mother's Day. We had our anniversary, and you know, when we usually almost every year for 16 years we've had a concert that coincided with our wedding anniversary, and this is one of the few years that we hadn't. When we got married, we saw Bowie on our honeymoon.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so it's just been kind of a weird thing. But anyway, okay, you gotta show
All
something
right,
else.
I got some more stuff here, folks.
Oh, come on, baby.
You can't talk about Mississippi Nights or great St. Louis bands. You're going to have a fit right here on TV?
I'm not having a fit.
You can't talk about Mississippi Nights or great bands from St. Louis without mentioning the Urge.
That's true.
And this is a rather old Urge shirt. This is from the second release, Putting the Backbone Back. But here are some photos. Show the photos, baby.
So you're just using up
When
volume 2 here.
their first album was released only on cassette, and these photos are from the cassette release party. I did an ice carving in the basement of 1227,
1227. That's going
which
back.
is like a dirt basement 200 years old or something. So I did this ice carving. It's 2 blocks of ice, so it's over near 400. He's on top of the logo busting a 40 ounce. And here we go.
It's like a Cold 40 Freddy and Ice. That is pretty cool.
And then here's a great shirt.
So you're just using up volume 2 here, you know.
No, I got tons of stuff, baby. Here's a good one. This is from the album Magically Delicious. All of the Urge merchandise then, before the lineup changed, was all the artwork was done by Jeff Herschel, who's
Shout out to our friend Jeff Herschel.
a dear friend of mine.
And a freaking fabulous artist.
Here's another local band, A Perfect Fit. They were really good. Band from Webster. The Urge was from Webster. And then I got just one more shirt. These are great. Why are you so exacerbated?
You mean exasperated?
Exasperated, whatever. Here's another good shirt, my buddy Jeff.
That is a nice. All the Urge stuff, they did have a really solid merchandising program before that was really a thing. They really did. That's
yeah,
true.
they were good about that. And 40 ounces used to be the way to go. Back in the day, we all had 40 ounces. In fact, Hugo's down by St. Louis University used to serve. You could go to the bar and order a 40 ounce there.
And Maria's dressed for it today too. She's wearing a Radiohead in Rainbows Tours t-shirt.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So we hope you all enjoyed this and aren't too confused.
It's been fun. And I will say this. Did I say this already?
Yeah.
The Isley Brothers?
No, you didn't talk about Isley Brothers yet.
Isley Brothers. So the last two shows that we saw this year in February were the Addicts and the Isley Brothers. So the Isley Brothers, whatever, 50th anniversary tour of Shout. But the Isley Brothers was the last live show that we got to see, and that was at the end of February. And it was spectacular. I'm so excited. You know, talk about bringing it right back around to classic, iconic St. Louis musicians. Isley Brothers were great. And if that's the last thing I get to see live this year, I'd be fine with that. Except I'm going to be out a lot of money if that is the last thing I get to see live this year, because we got tickets for a number of things. But
yep.
All right.
So we really enjoyed this. This was, I think, our best show yet, baby.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for sticking with us. I hope you enjoyed it as well. We really liked talking to all of you, and can't wait to see you all again.
Peace and love and rock and roll.
All righty. Bye everybody.